This is the SUNSEEKER X7 wireless robot lawnmower. A low, gray, all-wheel drive rover with two big front wheels, a single-powered rear wheel that does the steering, a wide top that shades its stereo cameras, and a compact 29.2 by 20.2 by 10.2 inch footprint. It weighs about 30 pounds and looks more like a purposeful yard tool than a flashy gadget. From my experience using it for 6 months, it's a strong mower with a few quirks you should know about. Key features that matter to me are wire-free navigation, real obstacle recognition, and traction that actually works on uneven turf. The X7 skips buried boundary wires and uses RTK GNSS, which is a local base station that locks in precise satellite positioning so it knows where your lawn ends. It backs that up with VSLAM, meaning the cameras build a visual map, so when satellite signal drops under trees or near tall walls, it keeps working. There's also a LoRa radio link for long-range, low-power communication to the base. In my opinion, that mix is the reason this thing stays on task more reliably than most wireless mowers I've tried. Setup took me an afternoon, not because it's complicated, but because accuracy pays off. I placed the RTK base where it has a clear view of the sky, staked the charging dock along an edge, and then I had two choices for mapping. The AI mapping is quick if your yard is fenced or has very clear borders. I tested the manual method first. Using the app's joystick, I slowly drove the mower around my perimeter and circled obstacles I wanted it to avoid. It took me roughly 45 minutes. It's tedious, but it gave me a very clean map. If you go this route, I wish the app had a satellite strength indicator to help position the base faster. It doesn't, so there's some trial and error. Once it's set, though, it stays locked in. From my experience, the driving system is the standout. The AWD with those chunky tires just grips. The manufacturer rates it for steep slopes, and on my hilly sections it didn't flinch, even when the grass was damp. It rolls over small roots and lawn ruts without getting stuck, which has been a frequent failure point with other robotic mowers I've used. The flip side is the rear wheel steering. The tail swings wide in tight turns, so if you've got lots of narrow corridors or hard edges, the shell can scuff. Mine has the cosmetic scratches to prove it. The cut quality is excellent. The floating dual-blade system keeps even contact over uneven spots, and the height adjusts from about 0.8 inches up to 4 inches, which covers warm season and cool season grass pretty well. It shines when you keep a regular schedule. If I let my lawn get too tall and wet after heavy rain, big clippings can wedge between the blade and the disc, and it stops cutting until I clear it. That's common for this style of mower. On a maintenance schedule, the lawn looks uniformly clean, and it doesn't tear up turf when it turns, which I appreciated. It's quiet, low enough that I'm comfortable running it at night without bugging neighbors. The rated capacity is up to about 3/4 of an acre, and that lines up with my real usage. It's not fast. Watching it work makes the pace obvious, but speed doesn't matter much when it's automated and splits the job across nights. The mowing logic can look random at times. I stopped worrying about the pattern once I saw that it reliably covers the whole map by the end of the schedule. Rain handling is solid. The rain sensor sends it back to the base as showers start, and the base is water resistant, so I don't babysit it. Auto recharge works as expected. I also tested power loss recovery. When I cut power to the base, it paused in place, then resumed where it left off once power came back. That's a small thing that makes a big difference if you deal with short outages. The app is where things feel less polished. It's stable and responsive, and it never crashed on me, which I appreciate. I can create zones, set different schedules, tweak the cut height, and check status easily. But the design looks dated, and some settings are buried in odd places. It gets the job done without flair. In my opinion, the app is perfectly usable for a first robotic mower, but if you're used to slick smart home apps, this will feel clunky. The good news is that firmware updates have quietly improved how it hugs edges and how it handles some tight spaces since I started. Build quality is mixed. The main shell feels sturdy enough, and the camera overhang is smart because it keeps the lenses clearer in rain and dust. I did learn the hard way that you need to lift it from the proper handle. Grab it in the wrong spot, and the casing can pop slightly. Ground clearance is low, which is normal for mowers like this, but if your yard has big humps or tall exposed roots, plan your map to steer around those. The rear swing means the tail can tap into walls or edging as it turns. My unit shows that wear. None of this affected performance, but it's worth knowing if you want your gear to stay pristine. Maintenance is refreshingly easy. The brushless motor runs quiet and should last. After a session, I tip it and hose the underside to clear clippings and dirt. The design is washable, but I avoid blasting the top panel directly. Blade checks are quick and replacements are simple. That's my entire routine. It's perfect for a medium to large yard with slopes, irregular patches, or soft, uneven ground where lightweight mowers usually get stuck. If you've got a clean, flat, rectangular lawn and you value a slick app above all, you might prefer something more polished. If your lawn includes narrow corridors, like a 6 to 7 foot squeeze between a fence and a wall, expect the X7 to pass most of the time, but occasionally hesitate or bump its tail. From my experience, the navigation stack is the real strength. When my RTK signal dipped near a tall hedgerow, the camera-based map kept it on track. Connectivity between the mower and base was consistently solid, and the return to base behavior was predictable. Those are the little reliability details that make you trust a robot outside. I'd recommend this for homeowners who want a set-it-and-forget-it workhorse and don't mind an app that feels basic. You'll also want to invest patience in the first map, because a great map equals a great experience. If you're new to terms like RTK and VSLAM, think of RTK as a super-accurate GPS thanks to a small base station near your lawn, and VSLAM as the camera's way of building a visual map when satellite data isn't ideal. Together, they keep the mower inside your yard and away from your obstacles without burying any wires. In my opinion, the X7 is a hardware-first robot with software that's catching up. The core engineering, AWD traction, sensor fusion, floating deck, delivers where it counts. Consistent cuts with minimal intervention, even on challenging ground. The rough edges are mostly cosmetic wear and a utilitarian app. That trade makes sense to me if your yard is the kind that defeats lesser mowers. In conclusion, the SUNSEEKER X7 wireless robot lawnmower has earned its spot in my routine. It's not the flashiest, and it won't impress you with a fancy interface, but it shows up, covers the map, and keeps the grass looking sharp with very little help from me. If that's the outcome you care about, it's a strong pick. I'll leave the details about the SUNSEEKER X7 wireless robot lawnmower in the comments for you to check out. See you in the next video.